Thank you for joining me. This is Zach with zachOS Tech, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this CSS four-leaf clover. If you love the color green as well, or if this just seems like a fun project to you, then stay tuned. So here we are in Visual Studio Code, and we're just going to start with a blank project because there's not too much to this project to be able to do it. One thing that you're going to need is the extension called CodeSwing. So you can just search CodeSwing. It's literally this swing set is the icon for it. Go ahead and install that, and that will allow you to create a playground that we can quickly create all of this code in. So once you have that installed, we're going to open View and then Command Palette. And in here, we're going to search CodeSwing. If you already have the directory open in VS Code, then just click New Swing. Otherwise, click New Swing in Directory, and it'll let you pick the directory that you want to open this project in. Once you make that selection, then we're going to do basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm actually going to use the in directory because I didn't realize that CodeSwing just creates a temporary project if you don't specify the folder. Okay, so I'm going to select basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and now we are ready to get started. We're not going to write any JavaScript in this project, so I'm going to close that right now. And then I'm going to use the exclamation point and then hit enter to pre-fill the Emmet boilerplate. Let's name this four-leaf clover, and then we can get started with the body. So I'm going to make a container, a div with the class of container, and then there's not too many divs that we need to make in this project. The first thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring up what we're going to make, is this clover right here. Okay, so this looks like a complex shape, but if we actually look, it's a square and then a bunch of circles, so 8 different circles. So if we comment out the square is right in the middle, and then all the circles go around it. So a div with an ID of main square, make sure it's an ID, and then we're going to do a div of class leaf 1 left, leaf 1 right. We're basically going to do that for all 4 of the leaves. So we have all those, and then the last thing is a div with an ID of stem. And that's all we need for this project. I'm going to bring this up here, and then the first thing we want to do is do root, and here's where we're going to specify a unit variable that we can use later on to make sure that this will scale with different size viewports. So to do that, let's set a size of 50. Then we're going to do a unit calc var size divided by 500. I want this to be like 500 pixels, and then times 1 vmin. This actually needs another, okay, parentheses like that. Okay, so what this is doing is it's taking our size number, our size variable that we have in CSS, it's dividing it by 500, and then it's multiplying that number by 1 vmin, which then bases the size off of the viewport width or the viewport height. And then we're going to do a green 217438. This is the hex code. All right, let's do an let's do an asterisk. Box sizing border box, a margin of 0, and a padding of 0 as well. Let's specify the body, display flex, align item center, justify content center, and padding bottom. Let's do 50 pixels here. The next thing we're going to do is a container. We want this container to be positioned absolute. Here's where we're going to use the variables we created up here. So the width is going to be calc 500 times var unit. And then we're going to do the same thing for the height. So let's make the square now so that we can actually see what this is doing to the items inside this container. Hashtag main square. Make a width of 100%, height of 100%, top of 0%, left 0%, and a border radius of 0%. Background color green. So align item center is aligning it vertically in the center. Justify content is aligning it horizontally in the center. And that's because we're using display flex on everything in the body. So the best way to go about this going forward is to think about all of the different styles that are going to be applied to every circle or every item on this page, and to declare that before we start making everything. So let's do before the main square, another container, and target every div inside the container. So one thing we're always going to have is this background color green. Every item is going to have this same green color, so then we don't have to type it anymore going forward. Everything's going to have a position absolute. What else do we have? Let's say what the width is going to be. We're going to make it 50%. Make the height 50%, border radius 50%. And that's one of the reasons why we had to make main square an ID and not a class, because since we did container and then all the divs inside the container, this would be more specific than if we just made this a class. Let me show you what I mean. So if we make this dot and then switch this to class, none of these things applied. So this width, height, and border radius are getting overwritten by this block right here, even though it's further down in the cascade. And it's because this has more specificity than this does. And so this takes precedence and makes it a circle because of the border radius. So IDs are always more specific than classes. So if we have a style that we for sure want to be that way, then we have to make it an ID. Okay, that's all we had to do with container div. And then now we can start making leaf one left. Since we specified all of this, we don't have to declare any of that in here. We're just going to do left negative 25%. And there we are. Okay, so without left, it's actually starting right there, because the corner, if it wasn't rounded, would be right at 0, 0. And so since this is 50% wide, to get half of that, we would just do negative 25%. I'm going to do leaf one right. So this one's back to here again, and we want it to be right here. So we're going to do top negative 25%. Okay, then we're going to do the next one, which is leaf two left. And so this needs to go all the way here and then up. So if we actually do right 0, that'll make it start right here. And then we can do top negative 25. And then we want to do the same thing with the right side of leaf 2. So let's do leaf 2 right. Okay, we're going to do right again so that it starts on the right hand side of the square. But this time we're going to do negative 25%, and that'll go all the way past. And that's it for leaf 2. Leaf 3 left. Okay, that's going to be this one down here. So we're going to do this one, this circle. So let's do the same thing as the last one. So right negative 25. And then to get it to start from the bottom, we'll do bottom 0. So then it's going up 0 pixels or 0% from the bottom. Leaf 3 right, right 0, bottom negative 25%. Leaf 4 left. And at this point, I would recommend pausing the video and seeing if you could do these last 2 circles yourself based on what we did with the rest of this, and then resume and see if you got the same thing that we got. So now we're going to finish this part, and to do that, we're going to do bottom negative 25%. That's it for the left part. And leaf 4 right, bottom 0, left, negative 25%. So that is all of the leaves. And the last thing we want to do is just make the stem, because it seems like all 4-leaf clovers that we see have the stem. So let's do stem, and this one's the ID, so it has to be the hashtag. We're going to do a background color red, just so that we could see what we're working with. Border radius of 0 to overwrite what was above. Let's do a width of 50% is what we have right now. And let's see what looks good. Okay, let's do 4%, and a height of 50%. And let's go down from there. That should be good. Top 100%. That'll be right here once we put it there. But 100% is the very bottom of the square, which will work, and there won't be any white space that we see. Let's do left. Okay, 50% would actually put the top left corner on the middle. Since this rectangle is 4% width, we'll want to make this 48 to make it right in the center. Let's do a transform, rotate 10 degrees, and then we'll drop this down a little bit more. And then for this border radius, let's do 0% or 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 40 pixels, 0 pixels, just to give it a little, so it's not just a straight edge. And then let's delete this background color. And there you have it. So there you have it. There's the 4-leaf clover, and we made that pretty quickly. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you have a link to your project, I'd love to take a look at it and see what you came up with from this video. If you have any suggestions for future videos to make, definitely leave that in a comment below as well, and I'll consider making a video that you're interested in. If you want to see more content like this, then definitely subscribe so that you're notified when I release new videos. Other than that, just have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.